it, and I know your time's precious. So first of all, huge welcome to Katie. It's really beautiful to see your face amongst my team. I know that we're going to have some amazing adventures in this business, and you'll get to know these gorgeous ladies. So Tracy's here in Nelson. She owns the Urban Spa, this absolutely stunning spa. If you want to have a good facial or anything like that, she's and her team is really good. And Maggie lives over in the UAE, but she's currently in Australia, but she's coming to New Zealand shortly. She's originally from Texas, but lived in New Zealand for a long time. So you guys will get to know each other and on our team page. And so welcome to the bigger group, which is not so big tonight on the call, but it doesn't matter. So what I wanted to do tonight is I wanted to talk about DMO, which is daily method of operation, and how a lot of the leaders in the business talk about how important it is to have a DMO. Now, there is no set fast rule as to what your DMO is, because you're a different person to me. So I'm just going to run through kind of something that I do loosely. I should be way more disciplined with it myself. So this is a really good training to hear myself speaking this. Hopefully I'll listen to myself. I've listened to lots of NMD speeches, and not so much at this year's conference do they talk about DMO, but definitely last year they focused a little bit more on it. And you ladies that have been in the business for a wee while now, and Katie, you'll probably find this soon, is that sometimes in our business it really feels like there's so much to do. Because it's like, oh my God, I've got to talk to people, I've got to follow that person up, and I'm like, got to send her that, and what about my customer care and the flyers and the orders? And so it is really, really easy to get swamped in the business, and we don't want that to happen for people. So again, just like anything in any business, organisation is the key. And we definitely have people in our business that Juice Plus starts to impact on the other areas of their life, and sometimes in not such a beneficial way. So I'm meaning sometimes partners can start to get a little bit like annoyed because you've got Juice Plus brain strain and it looks like all you're doing is Juice Plus. Sometimes kids, we can sort of forget about them a little bit because we're so focused on stuff. So I remember hearing an NMD talk by this beautiful lady, and she just said she's got a very strict DMO, and her team knows when she's available and when she's unavailable. So she puts really strict hours on. And Celine Egan, who's the co-owner of Juice Plus Australia, spoke at it on one of the SSC calls last week, saying when you create your hustle times in the day. That's what she likes to call it. You could call it your power time, your hustle time, your work time, whatever name you want to give it. But it's where we can actually get the equivalent of work done in half an hour to an hour as we can do to fluffing around for 3 to 4 hours. So scrolling through Facebook isn't going to work unless it's, looking at the Rising Strong Leadership Group and watching something that's to do with your business. It's inspiration. But even that, it's quite easy, as you probably know, to just kind of go off, and then you're off on this tangent, and then you're looking at this leader, and then your hustle time's gone for the day and you haven't done your work. So that's why we come up with a DMO. So I'm just going to run you through something that I think is really important to me. The first thing I do in the morning when I wake up is I breathe and I really start to think about setting my intention for the day. What do I want? What's the purpose of today? And I remember Lauren Slocum, who's a big, she works with Tony Robbins, and she says, today is going to be the best day of my life. And she says it every single day, because no matter what she's doing, it kind of in a way becomes irrelevant because life does go up and down, but she just stays and she sets the intention for the day, which I think is pretty awesome. Vision board, number one. Where is your vision board? Can you see it as soon as you wake up? So the first thing in the morning is look at your vision board and see it. And after you've had it on your wall for a while, you'll know the intricate parts of your vision board. Hopefully you're always adding to it so it maintains fresh and it doesn't become stagnant. You might need to refresh it a bit if it has gotten to that point. But looking at the vision board isn't enough. It has to be a matter of, we work in connecting our subconscious to your vision board. And the only way we do that is through emotion. So look at the photos, imagine yourself in those photos, but what do you feel when you're in the photo? So imagine that on your vision board, you've got a mountain bike on there, like I do over there. The mountain bike looks great. It's just a picture. But unless for a second, a split second, I imagine myself being on the bike and how that feels to have a really kick-ass mountain bike underneath me while I'm riding down a trail, it's really different effect on my subconscious. So all the parts of your vision board, and I'm not saying you're going to spend half an hour on your vision board, because this DMO, we want it to be condensed. But as long as there's a portion of the day, even if it's 1 minute, you know, as soon as you wake up, deep breaths, I'm going to have the best day of my life ever. Look at your vision board. Imagine, poof, you might do a different part of your vision board every day of the week. You know what I mean? Whatever works. But having that into it, stepping into it, feeling what it's like to be there. Okay. And then at some point of your DMO, affirmations. So your I am statements. Every NMD I've ever spoken to has had I am statements all the time, which change depending on what they're working on within their own personal growth. So remember at conference, we went through the success formula with Linda Evenden. Do you remember that? So, okay, I'm going to run it through so that you can teach your team too. Maggie, teaching Alessandro and Katie. And Katie, we just did this with you last week, so sorry that this is repeating. But thinking of like a time or a couple of times in your life where you felt really proud of yourself, like you'd achieved something. You were like, far out, that was an amazing achievement for me personally. Writing down 1 or 2 or 3 things. And this is kind of a summarized version of what she went through. But then looking at those times where you were really proud of your achievement and what you got and what you did, what were the qualities that you had to be? Well, who did you have to be? What did you have to be? What qualities did you have to achieve those 2 to 3 different things in your life? And then you're kind of looking for, maybe there's a common thread to those 2 to 3 things in your life. And then you're going to put it into the statement, which is show me. So I am statements are awesome because they're trying to reprogram your subconscious. Okay, and your subconscious is what drives your conscious mind. It drives your belief systems. It drives everything, to be honest. So I am statements are great, but sometimes asking the universe the big questions is even greater because you're asking for an answer. So show me how I can have more, whatever those qualities were right now. So I'm going to give you an example. So for me, one of the big things I focused on was healing my skin. Another thing I focused on was getting through my postnatal depression when I had Beau and really loving and accepting him as my child. That was a huge achievement for me because I struggle with it a lot. So show me how I can have more bravery, self-belief and trust right now. That's my success vision statement at the moment. And I say it all the time and I know it and it's in my head and I'm constantly asking the universe for it. Write it on your mirror, okay? Write your I am, 1 or 2 I am statements on your mirror and write your success formula. So when you go to the mirror, you're not picking yourself apart. You're using the mirror for powerful self-development work. Okay, success formula, know it inside and out, know it backwards, ask it, say it 1,000,000 times a day. So powerful, so powerful. Okay, and then the DMO goes from daily method of operation, vision, affirmations or success formula statement to, okay, what work do I actually have to do today? So really the parts of our work in our business is talking to people, reaching out to people. So whether you just having natural conversations through the day, that's awesome. But what happens if you're in a job where you actually don't have a job, so you're not having conversations, or you're in a job where you're in an office and you're not talking and meeting to people? Your DMO has to have in it somewhere in the day reaching out to people, whether that is through, you might say to yourself, I'm going to set myself a goal of X amount of people per day. Now, the faster you want to get to NMD, the greater the number is. You might go, I want to set myself intention of speaking to 1. You might say 3. You might say 5. You might say 10. That choice is really up to you. I'm not going to tell you what to do because this is your journey. But let's say I want to reach out to 3 people minimum a day. So a part of my daily method of operation is making sure I just do that 3 to begin with, and then I move on to the next part of my DMO. Because otherwise we can spend a whole hour just reaching out to people and we haven't done the other parts. Do you know what I mean? So reaching out to people, having those conversations. Number 2, follow-ups. Who have you spoken to that's on your 30-day grid? And Katie, I'll show you what a 30-day grid is. Who are those people you've spoken to that you promised you were going to send a link to? Who you promised you were going to send a video to, or tell them the price of the complete or whatever. Okay, so follow-ups, part of your DMO. So for example, for me right now, my DMO has been really naughty and terrible. I've got an order to place for a complete order. It's already an order. I'm not even following it up. This is from Saturday. Have I gotten into my VO and placed the order yet? No, because I've had no DMO because it's been the weekend. Okay, so follow-ups. Number 3, customer care. Really important. So you might want to follow up 1 customer a day. Or if you've got team, it might be 1 team member a day. And then you've got social media. So something to do with social media if you're going to use it. Some part of your DMO has to be social media. So it really depends. That, to be honest, as apart from gratitude as being a part of your DMO, is kind of it. It's vision, reaching out to people, following up, customer care, social media. So 5 things. Now, you can either choose, it depends what sort of person you are and how much time you've got and how you're working this business. You might choose to touch on all 5 of those things every single day. And to be honest, I could do all of those things in, if I was to be honest, I could do it in 30 minutes. Yeah, every single one of those things. I could reach out to 1 person. I could follow somebody up with a quick message. I could do 1 customer care phone call and 1 message, 1 Facebook message and my vision. Half an hour, 30 minutes. Or if you're the sort of person that would rather do all your customer care in 1 day, then do it like that. Do all your customer care in 1 hustle hour. Do you know what I mean? If you like to use Hootsuite and to schedule all of your social media posts, do a hustle on a Tuesday, which is social media day. You know what I mean? It depends how you work. It depends what sort of person you are. But DMO is so important in this business, and I really wanted to go through that. So work out what it is for you, put it into your daily rhythm, and work out the times which is your hustle time for Juice Plus in your life. And in that hustle time, everything else is turned off. Celine Egan, great tip. I mean, it's hard when you're on Facebook doing social media, you can't turn it off. But once that social media post is done, turn Facebook off, turn your email off, turn your phone off, hustle 1 hour. The amount of work you get done in 1 hour, and I've only just started discovering this when all the other shit's turned off, it's quite amazing. So when are your hustle times? When are you going to fit your DMO in? Really important. Okay, second thing I wanted to cover, where are we at? We've got 10 minutes tonight, is how do we invite people to events? And I've started doing a little bit of training on this. I'm not an expert, guys, like at all, but this is just some of the things that I've been doing lately that have felt a lot easier for me. For example, Adam Westwick tomorrow night. So I've got in touch with, I just thought of, okay, who's the people? I just went through my Facebook people in Nelson. Who's the people that I've actually kind of had a conversation with or talked to a little bit, or who I know is asking a question about Juice Plus or the business? And I've just reached out to them and I said something along the lines of like this. Hey, how you going? Hope life's well. You know, I remember that conversation we had 3 months ago about you wondering what I did with Juice Plus. I don't know if you'd be into it. But tomorrow night, there's a really awesome guy that's speaking at the Spates Ale House. He went from owning 3 gyms and having no time for his family to now 2 to 3 years later, creating a life for him and his family where he has a lot of freedom and he no longer has his businesses. If this is something that would interest you, I'd love to see you there. So it's really casual. Okay, there's no forcing it. It's just like, here you go. Here's the gift. Do you want to come? Whatever. I'm very whatever about it. And the response for people has been a lot better. Okay, that's one way to invite to events. Number 2 is talking up the speaker. Whatever the event is, that is the key. So let's say Nat's doing an event next week let's say she was here and Nat was coming over and doing, I don't know, how to plate up talk. Then I would be saying to people that I know who are into food, hey, how you going? I love following your journey and I know you're doing so well on your whole foods. I just wanted to let you know of my friend who's coming to town. She is really inspirational. She's an international speaker. And I just thought you might be able to grab a few more bits and pieces for your journey. Would you like to come? Okay, so talking up the speaker, really important. Danny Martin, I had a training call with him and he said, guys, your generation has forgotten how to do 3-way calls. It's how we built a solid business. And I'll be honest, I can see such value in what he says because as good as social media is, it's still fairly impersonal. And when you get to a level in your business, like the level that I'm at in my business now, and you girls will all be there very, very shortly, you want to be interviewing the potential, not the other way around. And it has just clicked for me this last week. And to be, lovely Katie is on here. I'll be honest, I feel like this is the first person that I feel like I was interviewing her. And it was wonderful, and she was like, remember you came in, she was super keen and we'd had a conversation. She's like, I'm in. And I was like, hold on a minute. You're really excited while you're here in my office, but I want you to go away and I want you to walk up to the centre of New Zealand because she's really into nature, because I knew she'd be in her values there. We did the success formula with her in clinic before we'd even talked about what our business is. I said, get in nature, get in amongst your core values and ask your success formula question in nature and wait for the answer. And if you get an answer that's a strong yes from you, not from me, then come back to me. Because you don't want to babysit in this business. And, I know they say we want to love on everyone, and we will, and we do love on everyone. And no matter how much you do this, you will still get team who just want to stay at DVF, SDVF, SC. But you also want to give yourself the full time and opportunity to find your NMD team. Yeah, the people that are going to ride the wave with you the whole way to the shore. Okay, so own it. That's what I wanted to say in the call is own what you've got. And they kept saying it in the business, you are the gift. Yes, you are the fucking gift. Excuse my French. But this business is the gift to people. We're not trying to con people into doing this. We're not trying to bribe them. We're not trying to talk them into it. No. You want to have those people that want it. So I guess going back to events, that's why I throw it out to people and say, hey, look, this is the person you could potentially come and see. If I can see, especially if it's a conversation, if I see their eyes light up, if I hear their message return from Facebook, that's like, wow, yeah, cool. I've always wanted to check that guy out. Or, like one of my teamies is here. They haven't been doing anything. That's cool. They've got a really busy cafe. Threw it out there to them. I'm not going to forget about them. That's the other thing. I don't forget about team that isn't moving. I just said to them, look, Adam's coming to town. He's got 2 kids. He's in a really similar circumstance to you. Relate it back to them because this is the truth. These guys are working their asses off in their cafe. They've got no money. They've got no time for their family. Where did Adam come from? The exact same circumstance. What's he got now? Time and money. So speak to people in their values. Ask the big questions and listen, and keep having, like right now I'm doing training, so I'm meant to be talking, but when you're with someone, have it in your mind. I remember Celine Egan saying when she used to do coaching like this on Zoom, behind the computer she'd have a sign saying, wait, why am I talking? Why am I talking? Shut up. Ask the question and shut up and let them say what they have to say. Listen. You know, they might go, oh, God, I'm so sick of my job. I hate my job. I hate my husband being away. Where are they hurting? They're hurting because they're lonely and they're not living in their values. So how can Juice Plus be an answer for them? Okay, when you listen, you'll then invite that person to perhaps the Healthy Values workshop where they're actually going to go, oh my God, that's my values, rather than inviting them to an Effective Food for Fitness event. You know what I mean? So just because we've got rolling events, don't try and invite all your prospects to the one event. Pick and choose. What's the answer for that one person? How can I help that person? Do you know what I mean? So remember that. You are the gift. The business is a gift. Ask the big questions. Wait. Be quiet. Listen. Find how Juice Plus fits into their answer. And then the third way of inviting to events is when you're playing a part in an event, is reaching out to people that are close to you and saying to them, hey, look, I know you've been seeing what I'm doing. Can you do me a huge favour? Because Tuesday night, like for Maggie, Tuesday night, I'm actually hosting the call. It's the first time I've done it. I'm feeling pretty nervous about it. I'd love to see some friendly faces on the call. Can you be on the call to support me in my journey? And I would love it if you could give me some honest feedback after the call. Now, this isn't a sly way of getting them on the call. It's a way of getting feedback, first of all, from people that love you. But second of all, it's a part of them feeling like they've contributed to you, and then they can actually listen to what it is that we do. Sometimes they need another way. Because if you've been harping on at them about, get on, oh my God, it's an amazing call and there's such amazing women from around the world and they're still just not showing up, you know what? Sometimes they'll just show up for you, not for anyone else. You know what I mean? So, hey, Ju, how are you, darling? 3 great ways to invite to events. And Juju, we're going to finish up now, my darling, but I do want you to stay on because I want to hear how Adam Westwick's talk was. Next week, I'm going to talk about social media and some top tips for posting on social media. But I want your homework. I'd love you to do a bit of homework. Next week, I'd love everyone to come on, and for 1 minute each, I want you to have your elevator story. So it's like imagining somebody meets you in a lift, you've got 1 minute, and they go, so what do you do? And I want you to have it nailed in 1 minute, what you do. In your words, what do you do? How do you explain what you do? And I mean sort of within the Juice Plus business. Like, what do you do? How do you explain that? What do you do in 1 minute? And then an answer to a second part of the question. So I'm in an elevator with you and I meet you and I go, oh, yeah, how you going? So what do you do? And you go, blah, 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 blah. And I go, oh, wow, that sounds really cool. So how do you do that? What do you do? How do you do it? 2 questions. Juby, how are ya?
Hi, I'm good.
Darling. Oh, you look all cold.
That's very amusing. I just walked back to the car and it was miles away.
Tell us about your event. How was it?
It was really good. A good little turnout. And yeah, Adam just spoke as casually and as brilliantly as he usually does. He's just, straight up, lots of funny laughs. And yeah, some really good little gold nuggets in there.
Awesome.
And fabulous as well for my business share tomorrow night. That was, one of the main reasons why I wanted to go is to really, get another little tune in to how he presents it. And some really nice young girls that I kind of just met through the 90-day game plan. Met a lovely girl, Louise, she's and a couple of other new people. But yeah, there was definitely a room full of new potentials, that's for sure.
Awesome. Cool. About how many people were there?
Probably about, I'd say there'd be about 40 on. 30
good.
or 40.
Fantastic. Good.
Yeah, that was cool.
Well done, you. I'm going.
Yeah.
This is Katie, by the way. You haven't met each other yet. Jew, this is Katie. Katie Jew.
Okay. Let me see. Nors, where's the rest? How can I see? Where are you all? Oh! Katie. Hi, Katie. Let's see.
Drew.
Yeah.
How are you?
What are you doing tomorrow night?
My Wi-Fi's pretty bad, but can you hear me?
Hello?
Say that
again. Sorry, Drew, you've probably said on Facebook. I just wondered what you were doing tomorrow night, that you'd mentioned you'd got some good points from Adam tonight for tomorrow night.
Oh, for the choice lifestyle.
Oh, okay. Are you doing something tomorrow night, presenting?
Yeah.
Or?
I'm taking off my shaky boots and I'm going to present the business share.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah, baby. And we're so excited. And Maggie, make sure you record this because I can't wait to see all of you beauties on there. So I wanted to just quickly say about tomorrow night's call, seriously, don't, as much as you want to listen to what everyone else has done, do but don't. Because at the end of the day, you're your own person. You've got everything inside of you. You've got your greatest gifts right locked into your heart and your own brain. You just got to connect the heart to the brain and out the mouth and just honestly breathe. And you know what? Just be yourself. It's the main thing. Action. It's about action. And I'll be honest, it's perfect that it's happening because passion gets created from action. So I reckon, it'll just give you that next bit of momentum and it's such good practice. It's awesome. I'm so stoked. Thank you so much for stepping up to do the call because we will all be at Adam.
Yeah, you'll love it.
Yeah. All right, girls. So, yes, Shred 10 was supposed to start today, Trace. That was our next intake. We haven't had that many people wanting to get on the shred this month. I think Steph had one lady. You started. Yes.
Cold. Yeah. I think I'm going to finish now. I'm going to go grab a wine or something. No, but Monday to Friday I do my best.
Yeah.
And usually definitely the morning and lunchtime and evening I'll have what I want, but today I did the whole